In this video, we explore different types of angle pairs in geometry, including complementary, supplementary, vertical, and corresponding angles. Through simple examples like solving angle equations and finding missing angles in parallel lines, we learn how angle relationships help solve geometry problems easily.
We are going to build a clear map of the most common angle pairs in geometry and what makes each pair special. Let's use a simple diagram to make the relationship easier to see. First, what does an angle pair mean? It just means two angles we compare because of how they sit or because their measures are connected. The big idea is some pairs add to a special total, and some pairs are guaranteed to be equal because of the geometry. A really common relationship is when two angles add up to a right angle. When you hear that, you should think we are splitting 90 degrees into two parts, so the pair is called complementary. This equation is the whole definition. The measures add to 90 degrees. The next major total to recognize is a straight angle. A straight line makes 180 degrees, so if two angles add to 180, we call them supplementary. Supplementary means the measures add to 180 degrees. Now, let's talk about position. Adjacent angles share a vertex and a side, and they sit next to each other without overlapping. This is about how they're placed, not about any specific sum. A linear pair is a special kind of adjacent pair. They are next to each other, but their outside sides form a straight line. That straight line is why they must be supplementary. This name tells you to look for a straight line made by the outer sides. When two lines cross, you get vertical angles, the ones directly across from each other. The key reason they're important is that they always have equal measures, so you can set them equal when solving problems. Vertical angles match, so their measures are equal. A lot of angle pair vocabulary shows up when a line cuts across two parallel lines. That cutting line is called a transversal, and it creates matching positions at the two intersections. Corresponding angles are in the same relative position at each intersection. Because the lines are parallel, those matching positions force the angles to be equal. Think same corner at each intersection. Alternate interior angles live between the two parallel lines, but on opposite sides of the transversal. That opposite side symmetry is why they're congruent, meaning equal in measure. That placement is what alternate interior means. Alternate exterior angles are similar, except they live outside the parallel lines, still on opposite sides of the transversal. Same idea. With parallel lines, that setup makes them equal too. These are outside the parallel lines, but still alternate across the transversal. Finally, same side interior angles, also called consecutive interior angles, sit between the parallel lines on the same side of the transversal. Here, instead of being equal, they form a straight turn together, so they add to 180. Same side interior angles are supplementary, not equal. To wrap it up, here's the quick memory check. Some pairs are about adding to 90 or 180. Some are about being next to each other, and some become equal only when parallel lines and a transversal are involved. Angle relationships are the whole key here. We'll translate each phrase into a fact we can use, then chain them together to find angle C. This is the angle we're given, so everything will connect back to it. This tells us angle C matches angle B, once we know what angle B is. Before we solve, let's keep the answer choices in view, so we know what we're aiming for. Start with angle A. Supplementary means the two angles form a straight line, so their measures add up to 180 degrees. That's why we can set up an addition equation. This equation comes directly from the meaning of supplementary angles. Now, we just isolate angle A. Subtracting 125 from both sides keeps the equation balanced and leaves angle A by itself, which is exactly what we want. So, angle A measures 55 degrees. Next, angle B is vertical to angle A. Vertical angles are opposite each other when two lines cross, and they're always equal. So angle B must have the same measure as angle A. Last link. Angle C is an alternate interior angle to angle B. Alternate interior angles are equal when lines are parallel, so angle C matches angle B. That means angle C is also 55 degrees, which matches choice D. This is the final measure of angle C. We have two parallel lines and a transversal, and three angles described using X and Y. Our job is to use the special angle relationships from parallel lines to figure out the value of Y. Let's keep the answer choices in view so we can match our final Y value. Let's use a simple diagram to make the relationship easier to see. Start with the easiest relationship. Corresponding angles are equal when the lines are parallel, so the angle labeled x plus 20 must be the same size as the angle labeled 2x minus 60. This equation comes directly from the corresponding angles being equal. Now we solve for x. We want x by itself, so we can subtract x from both sides to keep things balanced and remove one copy of x. Next, we undo the minus 60 by adding 60 to both sides. That keeps the equation true and leaves us with x. Great. Now we actually need the angle that was labeled 2x minus 60, because y is consecutive interior to that angle. So let's plug in x equals 80 to find that angle's measure. Consecutive interior angles sit on the same side of the transversal between the parallel lines, and they always add up to 180 degrees. So y plus 100 must equal 180. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary, so they add to 180.
We hope you liked the video.
Finally,
to create more
subtract
such
100
videos,
from
please
both
visit
sides to isolate y.
think10x.ai.
That gives us y equals 80 degrees, which matches choice B.